Welcome to the cooking show for bearded dragons. As you can see, this all looks like a real cooking show, but this is by request. There are some folks who wanted to know how to mix up a slurry or just like a liquid tube feeding kind of thing for a reptile. This is for my female bearded dragon, Rose. If anyone was following her story, I adopted her in January. And you could kind of say it turned into a rescue, which is fine. Took her to the vet, treated for a lot of 4 different kinds of bacteria, 2 different antibiotics, and then she started feeling great and running around all the time. Then she laid a bunch of eggs. So after that, I think it was about a week, she wasn't really bouncing back, didn't want to eat. And since I had gotten her used to eating a little bit from a dropper kind of thing from the vet, I mixed this up and I've been giving her, I guess you could call it tube feeding or dropper feeding with some good stuff, and she's been doing a whole lot better. I think she's getting ready to lay more eggs, but this is good because we needed to get calcium and D and all kinds of vitamins, definitely probiotics. And this is how we did it. And if you watch Animal One Guy's channel, he helped me with this. So I thought I'm going to do a video and show the people how to do it. I am on his Patreon and also on his Discord. And he was nice enough to do a video call with me. So he watched me do this so he could kind of guide me on how much to put, how much water. Because some people measure and some people don't. I like to measure so I can repeat it. And so I can, show other people how to do it. And I thought, okay, I've done that, so let's do this. For starters, this is what I used as my bottle. The dropper holds, let's see if I can get that in focus. It's 1.0 milliliters is the top line. And I give her a minimum of that amount every day. So how did I clean this out? Of course, I rinsed it out with water as much as I could. Alcohol. Now, when you do alcohol in a dropper like this, if this is something that you're going to use, you need to, squeeze this and get the liquid up in the dropper, turn it upside down so it gets down here, and then rinse it out, maybe 5 times with water. Then you rinse the whole thing out with alcohol, close it up, shake it, fill it up into here on the outside and squeeze it out. And after the alcohol, I rinsed it with water and I used my own mixture of chlorhexidine. This is one of the 2 things that kills chlamydia. And I'm going to do another video on how to mix that up, what percentage to buy, where to get it, and how to dilute that. Because I have not seen a single video anywhere where somebody explains how to do that part. That kills coccidia, which is in their poo, and if you can't clean their tank regularly, they get that ingested. So, gotta have some coffee. So what's going to go in this? We've got repticalcium with vitamin D3. So that's the Fluker's brand, that's a powder. Repashy's Beardy Buffet. This has got a lot of good stuff in it. If you want to look this up, I'm going to put a link to these in the description so you can look those up too. Also, I'm going to put a capsule of bee pollen. If you're going to buy bee pollen, you need to make sure there's nothing else in it other than the bee pollen. And I'll put a link to where I bought that. I think I got that on eBay, but you can get an example there on what to do. So now I need to mix. This is funny because when I did the video call with Animal One Guy helping me with this, I got made fun of for using a whisk, but a fork will work. It will. So here's one. Hey, I got a new one. If you're watching Animal One Guy. So I have distilled water in here, and I'm going to mix up an ounce. This bottle holds 2 ounces, so I'm going to mix up 1 ounce because I want to clean that bottle every few days, really. I don't want to go a whole week because that's going to go in the dragon's mouth a little bit. And inside any creature's mouth, there's going to be bacteria, so it's going to go back in there. I kept it in the fridge. I did. But you don't want to go too many days and let that bacteria grow. You don't want them to get sick again. So in here's the distilled water. 3 tablespoons of water is 1 ounce. I'm going to open one of these. A whole capsule. I twist one side of the top really carefully. Make sure your hands aren't wet because the capsule will stick to you. So I'm going to put like half of a capsule. I kind of twist it to get it to come out kind of slowly. Okay, so then the question is how much of these? So this is 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to put, 2 of those. And then 3 of this. They're not heaping. They're not scraped off completely even, but they're generally level. So it takes a while to get this all mixed up. I just use room temperature water, but you need to start with distilled. It's better than tap water. If you don't have a water distiller at your house, you can buy a gallon at the store of distilled water. It's only about $1. So this is pretty watery, and the reason I'm doing it pretty watery this time, last time I made it a little bit thicker. I noticed that her poo was very, very dry and hard. And yesterday I gave her dropper of the slurry, and I rinsed it out with some distilled water, wiped it off, and then I gave her a dropper of just water. And this morning she was able to lay another egg. And since I've been doing this, she has managed to continue laying eggs because she laid 13 at first. And that's not a normal amount for a bearded dragon. It's usually between 20 and 30. So she is now up to 22 eggs that she's laid total since all of it started. But the water seemed to do something for her system. She was able to get rid of another egg today that did not look like a healthy, well-made egg. So I'm making this more diluted. And her eyes definitely looked dehydrated. But their eyes are kind of sunken. I know different morphs have different looks. So you know what your dragon usually looks like. So, pay close attention to their eyes. So, I'm going to let that be it, because I'm going to shake it when I give this to her. Very slowly. I'll just pour that in there. See, it's hard to get that completely dissolved. So I'm going to just do a tiny bit more water, just a little tiny bit, to help rinse the remainder out. not going to hurt anything. So, store this in the fridge. Now I'm going to give her some before I put it in the fridge. But when you get it out of the fridge, maybe 15 minutes before you're ready to give it to the dragons, get a bowl like this or something like that. Heat up the tap water and then put this in the tap water. Let that warm up. You don't want it hot. You don't want it cold. You just want it kind of room temperature. And by the time you get back to it, you're going to shake it. You're going to put your hand around it. It's not going to feel cold. So that's how you do that. So each day I give her a minimum of 1 milliliter. So she's getting a lot of good stuff. So about that much. See, it's up to the top line. Hopefully that's, there we go. Yeah. So this is just a little watery. Hopefully that's not too watery for her, but we'll figure it out. But you heat it up like a baby bottle. You put it inside some warm water or hot water. However hot your tap gets is probably fine. And you get your dragon, put them on a towel, on a table, and sit there with them. And keep a wet napkin nearby, because you're going to need to wipe their mouth. And you open their lips up on the side and do not press hard up against their gums. You just kind of slide it toward the front, squeeze a little bit, and they'll usually start drinking. And at first I just gave her a little drop at a time just so she could get used to it. This stuff tastes really good to them. It's got a lot of bugs in it, lots of vitamins. It tastes good. Yeah, moringa leaf, dried potato, hominy, carrot, dandelion flower, lots of good stuff that they like. And no, I wouldn't feed them potatoes. I'm just saying that's some of the stuff they use in there. But it all tastes good, and it's good for them. So just that much a day, and I do offer her food. Aside from that, she is doing better. Hopefully this being a little bit more diluted, that's going to help her out. Sometimes she'll even open her mouth a little bit and just kind of drink from it as I drop in her mouth. That's wonderful, you know. But sometimes you just got to go drop at a time. Just get patient with that. And that's how you do that. You might just use the stuff that you already have, or you can buy this stuff. I'll put links in the description within probably a day from me uploading this video. And I really hope this helps out. It sure helped me, and it sure helped Rose. And if it wasn't for Animal One Guy and the Patreon group and the Discord chat with everybody else who's got a lot of experience, I don't think Rose would still be with us. I think she wouldn't have made it. I would not have known what to do. So next video coming up, I'm going to talk about this chlorhexidine and tell you how to dilute it, how to mix it, and how to use it. So thank you so much for watching, and give me a like or a comment if you like this video, or maybe even subscribe, because I'm going to be uploading more. Thank you so much.